I had a guy that I worked for in the Virgin Islands for a scuba company called Cruise Bay Water Sports. And he taught me one of the greatest lessons of all, and I keep it in my mind all the time. Everything is a show. Everything. Whatever it is you're doing, if you're working on a dive boat, because if you're working as a dive instructor, really what you're doing is you're taking people on scuba dive trips, which is one of my loves of life is to be scuba diving. I've done over 1,500 dives. I love scuba diving. It's just second nature to me. But to be able to make money as a dive instructor, you're working for tips. How do you make more money at tips? And I was doing all the stuff, and I was putting people's tanks together and getting everybody in the water, and everybody's coming back safe. But my tip money wasn't all that great. And so I just went and asked him, and his name was Marcus. And he said, I just said, I'm not making that much money in tips. He said, you have to make it a show. You have to make whatever you do a show. You have to talk to people. You have to make it interesting. And I thought about this for a good month. And I started I came up with these things I wanted to try, which are develop these little stories. There was a dive site that we went to commonly called Deaver's Point. So I came up with this little story where I would tell people on the dive boat, you would do a dive briefing with everybody on the boat, and you're going to the dive site, and I have 10 divers there, and that I'm going to be leading on a tour. So on the way, I'm like, everybody, I want to brief you on the dive we're getting ready to do. You know, it's got a depth around 60 to 70 feet. But the really cool thing about, or more important thing you should know, is that Captain Devers was a pirate, was hung here at this point. It's called Deaver's Point because this pirate was caught looting and stealing things from the British Virgin Islands, and which is, Tortola is just right by St. John where I was working, and he was caught right here, and they hung him right off the end of their boat, and these are the things that I started making all my tip money from. It wasn't me being a good diver. It wasn't me being kind. It was that I was making it fun. And people would be on the edge of their seat watching me and listening to every word I said. When I changed that, I changed my money. So whatever it is you do, if you're going to be a real estate agent, if you're going to be a producer, if you're going to be whatever it is, you're going to be a waiter. I was a waiter, and I was an awesome waiter using this lesson in my life. It's the best lesson I can give to anybody is whatever you do, you make it a show. You make it awesome, and you make it more exciting and fun than others.
I want to know who saved Captain Devers.
It was a complete makeup.
I know. I want to hear it. You have me on the edge of my seat. I want to know the continuation.
Nobody
of the
saved
story.
him. He was hung. He was hung, and it was after his body sat there and rotted until his body and head fell into the ocean.
Make it a show. When you were saying that, I reflected back to a few minutes ago when I said, hey, how Naked Karate Girls, how was it named? The story you made up. Yeah. There's nothing true about that.
Not at all.
I know. So I'm like, this is fascinating.
Oh.
And so what that guy told you, Marcus, he said, make it a show. That's programmed into like your ether.
That is my DNA. If I can give anybody ever any tip or experience for success, it's that you make whatever you do a show. I mean, make it awesome. I don't care what it is. If you're a mechanic, you can make it a show. You can make yourself the show of the garage.